I want you to picture this in your head. Imagine you and your friends plan a trip to Europe, and you downloaded Duolingo thinking it will help you communicate with the locals better, ask for directions. And then, the moment of your trip is finally here. The date is here. You glance at your phone. It's a 90-day streak on Duolingo. And when you arrive at the airport, you can't even ask where the bathroom is. This scenario probably happened to a lot of us already. And you probably clicked on this video looking for some sort of forbidden wisdom on what is the fastest and easiest way to learn a language. But you would be mistaken, my friend. This video is not Pandora's box, nor is it the sorcerer's stone that alchemists sought out in the Dark Ages. The greatest misconception a lot of people have when learning a new language is brute forcing your brain to fit in all that vocabulary you learned a week prior to your trip to Europe. And surprise, surprise, you can't even order a cup of coffee in France. Even worse, you would say the wrong fucking thing. Instead, we have to live and breathe the language like it's a drug. We got to get addicted to it. That's what immersion is. Living and experiencing the language visually, vocally, and all the other human senses that exist. But that's not to say we shouldn't have formal study in language. So here's the part you guys probably wanted to hear from the beginning. The question that has yet to be answered. How the hell do you learn a language? To address the elephant in the room, you'd be dumbfounded on how ridiculously easy it is to learn a foreign language. It sounds really cliche, but consistency is the key. I am not exaggerating when you study for 1 hour a day, it can bring a lot of progress in the span of a year. Because all you gotta really do is 1. Learn the essential vocab, around the 4K most common words in the language. Forget about phonetics, grammar. You eventually learn those things while immersing yourself in music, film, and literature. What's important is you understand the vocab used in those contexts, and your brain just pieces the grammar rules like it's puzzle pieces, which is really interesting when you find yourself understanding brain rot in other languages. You unlock a new area of the internet, probably asking yourself, how the hell do I learn vocab then? Well, the answer to that question is really simple. Using flashcards. Make a 20-word list every day. Turn them to electronic flashcards using Anki, and rinse and repeat this process for a year, alongside with immersion, and you'll find yourself with an additional slot in your language inventory. And you get to be lazy but with benefits. That's the fun part. Imagine this in your head, alright? You're in your room watching anime, but instead of feeling guilty that you're watching anime, it's now counted as productive because it's immersion. And once you pair this immersion with flashcards and some kanji practice every day, you'd be really impressed on how much words you could retain. Which brings me to the next point. You should be using dual subtitles for Netflix. You get to understand the context of what you're watching, while not sacrificing comprehensibility. The next step of your journey to be a bilingual, trilingual, or whatever you want to label yourself, once you learned a new language. Stop using English subtitles. Listen to music you don't fully understand. Watch shows that are difficult. Because at this stage, you have already learned a lot of vocab, and majority of what you'll hear is comprehensible to you. This is also called comprehensible input, which is basically a key concept in second language acquisition. It refers to language that is understandable to a learner, even if they don't understand every word or grammatical structure. And by consuming media that is comprehensible without the reliance of our mother tongue, it caters the growth of unlocking these new languages. In the beginning, you should start with children's shows that progressively make the material harder and harder until you can watch full-length movies while understanding 30 to 40% of what they're saying. Aside from watching shows, a thing you can do is having a conversation with yourself in another language. Be schizophrenic. Brilliance is sprinkled with some insanity. This is something I did in the shower, when I was alone, walking alone in the street. It makes you think of a lot of responses on what you could do in an actual conversation. If you aren't ready for this kind of insanity yet, journaling in your target language helps as well. You get a peace of mind while writing, and you get to feel the language as your pen's ink etches the pages on the paper. And plus, writing is free therapy, so it's like hitting two birds with one stone. You get a peace of mind while learning another language. It's a win-win situation. But you know what? Maybe I lied to you. Maybe I do indeed have some forbidden wisdom to pass on. Is it like Prometheus giving men fire? Or is it like the Elder Scroll? No, it's not like any of those. But this is the advice everyone forgets, and they end up burning out, and they don't write a single kanji again, or they stop listening to French music. They forget to enjoy the process. They rush learning a language and get frustrated when they make mistakes. But the truth is that language is about mistakes. I can't count the many times I was corrected on what gender a noun is, or even the gender of a color. I even got corrected by a little child. You're not perfect, and no one is perfect. So don't beat yourself up too much and accept the mistakes. Learn from it. And if you stayed until the end of the video, witnessing my insanity fluctuate, I really appreciate you for sticking by. And if you like more content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe.